So here is the Bystial Control deck list I've been playing with since they released the Max Metalmorph cards and Red Eyes Black Fullmetal Dragon. And as you can see, this is a pretty bare bones Bystial deck. We were not playing any of the traditional Dragon Link combo stuff or extenders. As you see, there's no rockets in here, there's no Borland, there's no Savage in the extra deck. We're not playing any of the fusion stuff either, so no Chaos Star Swords, no Light and Darkness Dragon. It's just bare bones Bystials, normal summons that search your Bystials and your Red Eyes cards, plus hand traps. And normally, I wasn't really a big fan of these types of Dragon Link. Well, I mean, it's not really Dragon Link, it's just Bystial Control lists, because the ceilings of these decks were just so low. I know the meme is that like they make Seals pass and like that's an FTK and so on and so forth, but that was literally all this deck did. Okay, and the issue I have with that is that Seals pass, you know, you can do that by playing a normal Dragon Link deck with Rocket in it too, right? Like if you're playing Rocket Dragon Link and you get Max Seed or Hand Trap or Full Lost or whatever, you can also make a Seals pass anyways. And that was the worst case scenario. So like the worst case scenario of every other Dragon Link build was like basically the normal, like ideal play for a Bystial Control deck. And it didn't feel nice that you were just depending on Seals pass in a format where everyone plays double Call by the Grave. And also, in terms of being a mid-range deck, like a one-card combo, like mid-range deck that plays lots of hand traps, there were tons of other options in mid-range decks that just felt better to play than Bystial Control in the past, because you have decks that make more disruptions than Bystial Control off one card, you know, like Blue Eyes, for example. You have decks that can just outright play more hand traps than you can, and play more non-engine, like the Fiendsmith Bystial decks and the Kashtira Fiendsmith decks. Those types of Fiendsmith like mid-range decks. And also, there are decks that, frankly, use the Bystials better than you did. You know, like Centurion, for example. Like, Centurion got more use out of the Bystials than a standard Bystial Control is, because they could also use them as levels for Synchro Summoning as well. And they had, like, they had more, the Bystials had more versatility in a deck like Centurion than they did in just normal Bystial Control, which all you were using these for was to make seals. But, obviously, that changed a little bit with the release of the new pack, which was the Max Metalmorph stuff. And mainly because of this card. This card is honestly one of the, if not the best boss monster that dragons have access to. So how this works is you search this off of Red Eyes, or not off of Red Eyes, you search it off of Black Metal Dragon. Like Black Metal Dragon is a one card Seals plus Red Eyes Full Metal with Max Metalmorph set. And here, this card cannot be normal summoned or set, so that's very important because of that line of text. It means that this is also searchable by Chaos Space if need be. And you special summon this by using Max Metalmorph to tribute a level 5 or higher dragon monster, which is any Bystial you control. So if you have any Bystial or you have a Seal something of Bystial, then you have the requirements to summon this. And then you reveal this card, you use to set the Max Metalmorph, and then Max Metalmorph you tribute up face of monster, and then you summon out the Red Eyes Black Full Metal, and then you equip the Max Metalmorph to the Red Eyes Black Full Metal. So this card is like Savage Dragon and Borland into one card. It has it's an Omni, once per turn Omni Negate, so it has the Omni Negate that Savage Dragon has. But it also has the Tower-like protection that Borland Dragon has, thanks to the Max Metalmorph. Because Max Metalmorph gives this monster 400 extra attack, and it makes it untargetable and undestroyable by monsters and spell effects. So in a sense, it's actually even more resilient than Borland in a lot of ways, because Borland can still be targeted by spell cards, which against certain decks, some decks play, you know, Widow Anchor now, so this would be immune to cards like Widow Anchor, even as well as every other monster effect. So you have a once per turn Omni Negate that can be targeted or destroyed by 2/3 of the card pool, and yeah, that's really nice. And the best part about this is you don't have to go through a full 5-10 minute long combo, something like 20 special something 20 times, playing into Maxi and Full Lost like crazy to summon this. All you have to do is literally one Black Metal Dragon or like one Chaos Space gets you access to this boss monster. And it's these Max Metalmorph cards that makes these mid-rangey Bystial Control types of dragon decks more appealing, in my opinion. Since now you have access to a legitimate win condition beyond just Seals Pass, that you don't have to run extra dragons for. You don't have to run like all the rockets and all the additional combo fluff that you need in a normal Dragon Link deck list. And in doing so, you get the advantage of you get the advantages that you normally wouldn't be able to have in a normal Dragon Link deck, which is a deck that runs tons of non-engine, tons of hand traps, and a deck that's actually close to 40 cards. If not, you can easily cut this deck down and even get it to 40 cards, which is inconceivable with a Dragon Link deck list that runs rocket cards, because the previous Dragon Link deck lists I've been showing on this channel have all been at or above 50 cards, and with with these introduction of these cards, the deck list will only keep growing in size. But obviously, you can run these Metalmorph cards in a normal Dragon Link deck list as well. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that. But in this video, we're just talking about the simple Bystial Control types of Dragon decks. And to get to the deck list itself, we're only running 2 dedicated normal summons, which are Black Metal and Safer. So Black Metal, how this works is, with just one Black Metal Dragon, you can link it off into Striker Dragon. Striker, the Black Metal will search Red Eyes, and then you will banish the Striker to summon the Red Eyes, summon back the Black Metal, link Black Metal plus Red Eyes into Seals, and then the Black Metal will get the second search to search Full Metal. Full Metal shuffle itself back into the deck to place Max Metalmorph. So you would have Seals plus Max Metalmorph, and then on your opponent's turn, Seals will bounce something, summon out a Bystial like Druid's Worm, and then Max Metalmorph will distribute the Druid's Worm to summon out the Full Metal, and then the Druid's Worm will send a special summon monster too. So it's like one Black Metal Dragon gets you 3 interruptions off of 1 card plus a tower, so that's pretty nice. That's probably the best normal summon in this deck. And the other normal summon is Safer. Safer, worst case scenario, Safer is a Seals because you can just search the baby dragons. But if you have anything else, if you have Safer plus any Bystial, you'll have access to your Bystial Engine 2 regained, or you can straight up Safer search for Black Full Metal. If you have a Lubellion, for example, you can go like you can go Lubellion, summon out a Bystial, and then summon back Lubellion. Lubellion plays regain, and then if you didn't use your normal summon, you can Safer, or you have another way to get Safer on the field. You can Safer send the Lubellion to search the Full Metal and then you would have like Seals regained and Full Metal Max Metalmorph set up too, and that kind of line plays better into Called By as well, since you wouldn't be relying on your Seals resolving, because if Seals gets Called By, obviously it doesn't summon out a Bystial monster. But if you start with like Lubellion, you would likely get Magnuma, which Magnuma searches the Bystial in the end phase, so you'll always have a Bystial monster that you can just summon at any time. Even if your Seals for some reason doesn't resolve or gets Called By, you still have access to a Bystial monster that you can tribute from Max Metalmorph. So yeah, that's Safer. Those are the two main normal summons, and mainly because these two get access to your Bystial engine and your Full Metal engine. And then you have the Bystials, obviously, so 3 Lubellion, the 3 Sarnier, 1 Druid's Worm, 1 Baldreg, 1 Magnum. So the reason Sarnier is the one you max out is because Sarnier is the best Bystial to pair with Chaos Space, and Safer is the best discard for Safer and Chaos Space. It lets you play through the most hand traps, since Sarnier, even if your Chaos Space gets ashed or your Safer gets ashed, Sarnier will always send a Lubellion to the grave. And if you start with Safer, even if you get hand trapped in any way, no single hand trap is going to prevent you from getting to regain, because you will just the Sarnier will send the Lubellion anyways. You can just link off the Safer, then the Safer add the Lubellion, banish yourself to add the Lubellion to your hand. And obviously, if they don't negate you, obviously then you have access to another Bystial. You can make Seals as well, and you can so on and so forth. And yeah, the Sarnier is the best combo with turn 1. Now, I do want to run more Druid's Worm and Baldreg too, because this is a Bystial Control deck, and why not run more Bystials in a Bystial deck, right? The issue is that sometimes Bystials are dead turn 1, and like it's very funny that this is a deck that's 20 times more consistent going second than it is going first. Because going second, not only does your opponent fill up their grave with lights and darks for you to summon your Bystials with, but also your hand traps, you're likely going to use your hand traps. So your Veiler and Ogres are also hitting the grave too. So it's just much easier to have Bystials live when you go second than it is when you go first. Because when you go first, if you don't open Safer or Black Metal, it's actually really hard to sometimes get Bystials out of your hand. And that's also why you notice in the extra deck, we're playing Almirage and with Eyes of Blue. This is the only reason these cards are in here is to turn your hand traps into link ones that also put a light monster in grave. For example, Valor, you can Valor turn it into Spirit of Blue Eyes, that will get you a light monster in grave, and then that will make your Bystials live. And then the Spirit of Blue Eyes, being a dragon, can also go into Seals after. So you can turn Valor into a dragon monster that also sets up your Bystials. You don't, obviously that's not ideal, but if you don't open another normal summon, you know, it's not the worst thing you can do. Same with Ogre. Ogre goes into Almirage to put itself in grave for your Bystials, but obviously you can't make seals with Almirage, so you would just make a SP instead, but then you guarantee the draw as well, because then if you open like Ogre plus Lubellion, you can just normal summon Ogre, go into Almirage, Lubellion, place a regain, and then SP banish the Lubellion, and then you get another draw off regain. So it's much better than nothing, you know. That's also why we're not maxing on the Bystials, because if I open like multiple Bystials in hand but no actual way to get them out of my hand, then I'm gonna pass and on nothing. And then at that point I might as well have just got blinded second. So yeah, I don't want to blind second this obviously, because getting access to your Metalmorph stuff and regain turn 1 is important. But you know, sometimes it feels like that you're playing a deck that wants to blind second a lot of time if you don't open a normal summon. So yeah, then 3 Chaos Space, the Call by, and the Cross, and then this is the best part about this deck, is that this deck can run tons of hand traps. So Valor, Ogre, obviously you play these because these are the ones that are lights. These are the best light hand traps that make your Bystials live. Then like Ash, Maxi, and then the 3 cross-out targets, which are Droll, Fool Loss, and Imperm. And then I run a Beast as well. You don't have to run Beast and Max Metalmorph. In fact, oftentimes I found that when I have both Max Metalmorph and Branded Beast, it's kind of redundant because they both tribute a monster to gain an effect, and it's like I don't want to tribute that many monsters, right? So it's kind of awkward if you have both, but if you only having one, it's fine. Like if you only have access to Beast, then that's fine. You can Beast tribute Druid's Worm, or if you have Max Metalmorph, you Metalmorph tribute Druid's Worm. That both of those are legitimate interruptions, and as long as you like ideally want access to one tribute trap so that you have an extra layer of interruption on your turn, but on your opponent's turn. But obviously, if you happen to get both, then it's kind of you kind of find it difficult to use both. So you can cut Beast if you really want to. It's not necessary, but it has come a few times where my opponent will out the regain, and then you just place the Beast, and then you just win the game from there, because then you just place the regain back on the end phase anyways. But yeah, then the extra deck. So the extra deck has a lot of space, and frankly, half this extra deck I never went into. Chaos Angel is surprisingly, you'd be surprised at how few decks, how many decks don't actually have a legitimate out to this card besides Imperm. So yeah, you can make this very easily because your Safers, your Baby Dragons are lights, and your Bystials are dark. And then one Atum, I never made this, but theoretically, you run a lot of Bystials, so you know any 2 Bystials goes into Atum, and then if you don't have access to your Red Ice, you can Atum, get Black Metal from deck, and then it gets access to your Red Ice engine, your Max Metal engine too. Typhon's in a mid-rangey, like low ceiling type of deck. This comes up quite a bit. And then Pisty, I'd never made this. Like there is a combo where you can go Pisty triple burst just like you're playing normal Dragon Link, but like you honestly don't have that many bodies available most of the time, and it's usually not the right play because then you're dragon locking yourself and you can't even make the access code after using the Pisty arrow. So this could probably be cut for anything else. The Almirage, Striker, and Spirit of Blue Eyes, as mentioned, these are link ones to allow you to put a light or dark monster in your grave. Double Seals, IP. Also, don't make this very often because you don't have access to that many extra bodies. So yeah, and oftentimes if you have access to extra bodies, you kind of just want to leave the extra Bystials, like the extra Lubellion, on the field. That way you play around Columbine more on your seals instead of linking it off into like an IP Masquerade. But yeah, and then 2 Charmers, Dark, and Lina. Lina comes up a lot this format because 1 Fiendsmith and 2 Blue Eyes. So there's like quite a few good targets for Lina, and you can easily make this because half your monsters are light. So yeah, this came up a few times when I didn't have it, so I just put this in. It's not like I don't have the space for it. Dark, besides obviously being, using Dark for its normal intended effect that everyone knows it for, this is also a consistent piece because you can crash this and then search a monster with 1500 or Dark monster with 1500 less attack or defense from your deck, which basically means you can search black metal. So if you're just floating like a Bystial, but you don't have access to engine, you can just summon any other monster, or like if you even have 2 Bystials, right? You can go into Dark and then Dark, threaten, summoning back your opponent's Dark monster or whatever. But I mean, that's really just the bait. You're just making Dark so you can crash, so you can search black metal, and then you have engine again. So yeah, this very important in this type of Bystial Control type of list. 1 SP. Honestly, you should probably cut like either the Pisty, the Mask Arena, or like maybe a Tum for the second SP, because it's not like the second SP comes up a lot, but it can. So, now granted it is something that you can also recycle or regain. So the second SP does not come up that often either, but you do have a lot of space in your extra deck. And then Triple Burst. Triple Burst is mainly to be a Link 3 so that you makes your access code have more attack. That's it. This could be a Nightmare Unicorn instead, because if you remove Pisty, then you don't Dragon Lock yourself. Besides I guess with Spirit of Blue Eyes, but Spirit of Blue Eyes, you can just link it off into something. Yeah, worst case scenario, you link out the Spirit of Blue Eyes into Seos, and then you can go into another Link 3 that's not Triple Burst. So yeah, this could be like a Selene as well, because you run 2 Charmers, and Selene, you do have a 3 Veiler and then a Droll to revive, so Selene into access code could come up as well. Like access code plus one of the Red Ice monsters is game, so like keep that in mind as well. Unfortunately, access code plus a Bystial is 200 points shy of game, which is really annoying because like that's the most common setup you're gonna have access code in, and then you're at 78 instead of 8k. But I mean, this isn't a deck that's meant to OTK or like end the game super easily or super quickly. It's meant to outgrind your opponent with like through hand traps and non-engine, because technically you're running like 15 1 2 3 4, you're running like 14 traditional hand traps, like the Veilers and the Ashes and stuff like that, and then you're running 6 Bystials on top of it. So if you count the Bystials as hand traps, then you're running really upwards of 20 hand traps, which is more than most decks do. And you can against a deck like White Forest or Snake Eyes, decks that play the Fiendsmith engine, and decks that actually care about the Bystials, then you will often come out ahead in the hand trap grind game, because you simply run more and you run better ones like the Bystials, for example. So yeah, but I mean, speaking of that, let's get into the games to show how this deck actually wins. So yeah, sometimes your hands look a lot like this. So this is a activate, regain, pass angle, and basically I'm saying if you dare call by or cross out my hand trap, I'm drawing a card, baby. So my opponent normal summons Sage of Blue Eyes, Sage with Eyes of Blue, and I Veiler it, and it gets cross out. And you know what? I'm thinking, you know what? I'm perfectly fine with getting this cross out, because I get to draw off this, baby. I get value off the regain without drawing a single dragon monster. So yeah, they added Maiden, and I don't feel too bad about it because I have double Ogre, and Ogre is very good against the True Light that the Maiden set, so I honestly don't even care that they negated my Veiler. You do you, go the Spirit of Blue Eyes, don't even bother ashing this or anything, because like, it's whatever. They can add Mausoleum and activate Mausoleum, and then here, they didn't play around the Ogre, which I guess they didn't expect, but yeah, the fact that they activated True Light before doing the Mausoleum or the Spirit of Blue Eyes effects just kind of means they got blown out by the fucking Ogre. So now I get the Ogre to True Light, the True Light gets destroyed, and then their entire field gets wiped, and now they can't even Mausoleum send a Blue Eyes or use Spirit of Blue Eyes to revive a Blue Eyes. And they have Roar, which, I'm gonna ash that. I know 3 hand traps, but like, hey man, I gotta be bricking on something, right? And I'm amazed that they still had a play after this. Okay, they went Ultimate Fusion into Blue Eyes. Normally Blue Eyes doesn't play through 3 hand traps, but including an Ogre. But here they are with going to Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, which is very, very fucking annoying, because now they can send a Blue Eyes to grave, but now they get to reset the True Light that I spent all that effort ogering. But jokes on them, I do have the second one, so they're not gonna know, but yeah, they're gonna be a bit salty later on. And here I draw a Sorry Safer, so I'm gonna normal summon Black Metal, go into Striker, Striker add Red Eyes, special Red Eyes by banishing the Striker, draw a card off the regain, and draw into a Maxi, nice. Red Eyes, summon the Saber. Okay, so this was a misplay, this was a misplay. I should have summoned the Black Metal Dragon, just give me access to my Fullmetal Dragon. The game would have ended on the spot, it would have literally ended next turn. But instead I summoned Safer, thinking I could get a bit fancy, but then realizing Safer, all Safer can grab me is Collapse Serpent, and then I special Collapse Serpent, and then I go into Seals anyways, and I add a Wyvern Burster to hand, and I don't even like use it. So like I do have follow up next turn. Like this does give me follow up, but I should have had Fullmetal set up here. Okay, like that was a big misplay on my part. I don't know why I went for the Saber first. Like I'm not playing normal Dragon. I don't get that much out of it. But yeah, end phase they're gonna activate True Light, and then they're gonna set Majesty, which is annoying because when they activate True Light, I can't ogre it. You can only ogre it when it's already activated on the field. So they're gonna Majesty, and then I'm gonna chain Seals, and I'm gonna get rid of that Tyrant anyways. They're gonna True Light, which then I'm just gonna ogre the True Light anyway to get that shit out of here. And yeah, now that usually when Blue Eyes gets ogre twice, it's kind of really difficult for them to recover. So yeah, Seals bounce that, and then Majesty can pop my regain, which is fine because now their True Light was whatever, and my Seals is gonna summon out my Magnemite from deck, and I get a Magnemite search. So here, they're gonna normal summon their Sage, and their Sage is gonna add a Effect Veiler, and I'm gonna Maxi them. So this is a misplay. I honestly, maybe I should have considered waiting for him to link into Spirit of Blue Eyes and then extending that way, but my initial thought was, oh, they have a 0 attack monster? Sweet, my Magnemite might live until the next turn. And then I read Mausoleum of White's effect, and it's like, oh wait, this actually has an effect beyond just dumping a Blue Eyes to the grave. It actually gives attack points. So whoopsie, that was a misplaced optimism on my part. There's 0% chance my Magnemite was living until my turn. It's fine though, I can just add a Rebellion anyways. And they have literally nothing, and I have my Bystial Engine. So now that I have my Bystial Engine going, their graveyard is gonna disappear real fast. So we're gonna add Sarnir, banish the Maiden, special the Rebellion, and then Rebellion, or Sarnir send another Rebellion. Rebellion baits out the Veiler they search, which is fine. I'm just gonna enter. I'm gonna special Wyvern Burster, enter battle phase, attack, and guess what? We're gonna make the FTK twice, baby. We're gonna make Seals pass again. My opponent got FTK twice. Like there's no chance you come back from getting FTK twice in the same game. Don't ask how that works logically. Just go along with it. Then yeah, like obviously they have nothing left. So now you go Seals, bounce the Mausoleum just to trigger Seals. I can summon the Black Metal Dragon, and now this is like a bit awkward because sometimes this deck struggles to do damage if I don't have a additional extender or additional Bystials, but at the same time, what's my opponent gonna do versus my non-stop Congo line of Bystials? So I'm gonna go Striker Dragon, and here I'm gonna Black Metal add Fullmetal, and then Fullmetal place the Metalmorph, and then here I'm just gonna normal summon Droll and go into Dark, so that way I get the lethal in under 5 summons, and I just attack with these two, and that's game. So yeah, yeah, that Bystial Control. It's actually short term for hand trap control, featuring a few Bystials splashed in there. So this is how a typical duel going second is. So we kind of open a similar hand to the first game, except we're going second this time, which means that it's much better. Our opponent, unfortunately for them, their hand is like pretty sus. They open Unicorn, Birth, plus they normal summon Full Loss to get the combo going, which that's fine. The Full Loss doesn't do anything for them, but the fact that they open Birth means that they have one less card in hand, which was good because I would have Veilered the Unicorn on the spot because I have 3 hand traps, but that saved me a Veiler. So they go into Moon, into Requiem, and then they're gonna activate Birth, which Birth gets eaten by the Ogre. So yeah, that entire Unicorn lost them. Like literally, they minus on Unicorn. When have you ever seen a Unicorn go minus versus the hand traps? But yeah, now they're gonna go Requiem, and I don't even ash this because I'm like, they normal summoned. What does getting a Requiem give you access to? So nothing. So they summon LZ, and then they activate Tails, and I ashed the Tails because that's actually an important thing to ash because they could have gone then Rusia, summon Rusia, synchro with the Azamina. That would have been bad. But instead they go into Sequence, which Sequence loses to a Veiler, you know, the third hand trap. Thank God I didn't Valor Unicorn. And yeah, all it takes is 3 hand traps to stop a average hand versus White Forest Fiendsmith. Like, man, what a great format, right, guys? And now they're gonna go into SP pass because I turned their body into a machine, and now it's my turn. And here, so the smart thing to do here would be to Chaos Space, pitch Fullmetal, add Lubellion add Sarnir, special Sarnir, attack over the SP, and then you know Lubellion main phase 2. That would have sealed the game. But yeah, because then I would have also Bystial the Engraver, and they would have had no follow up. But I really want to use Fullmetal. I want to use Red Eyes Black Fullmetal. So instead, I Chaos Space, pitch Ghost Ogre, and add Collapse Serpent instead, and then I special Collapse Serpent, and then attack over their SP, and then link it off into Striker Dragon, and then add a Wyvern Burster, and they activate Fullmetal, place the Max Metalmorph, and then special Wyvern Burster, and Chaos Space, draw a card, draw into a Branded Beast, which, no, not the worst, but I already have Max Metalmorph, but yeah, our opponent just gives up, so yeah, just open 3 hand traps forehead going second. A lot more doable when you do run 20 hand traps yourself, admittedly, so yeah. Now, I also gotta include a game that was just terrible on both sides. So here I opened 4 hand traps going second, which, like, this is a very good hand going second. Our opponent begins with Lubellion into Magnuma, which gets rolled. So, like, that's even better. Like, perfect start. And now it passes to my turn, and here is the issue with this deck, is that because I'm not playing the normal Dragon Link combos, I don't have an easy way to OTK on the clear board. Like, you're gonna see me fumble the line for this. So I'm gonna banish the Lubellion, normal summon Ogre, go into Almirage to put the Ogre engrave, banish the Ogre for Collapse Serpent, go into Striker Dragon to add the Wyvern Burster, and then Wyvern Burster, banish the Collapse Serpent, and then Almirage plus Striker Dragon go into Gloomy, Dark, and then special Bystial Druid's Worm, which this is not game. I have no way to OTK past a Magnum Bud. And our opponent, I was hoping I caught my opponent off guard by like banishing all my lights and darks so that they wouldn't. They held their Magnum Bud for a while, so I'm like, maybe they just won't have another hand trap, so that maybe all they have is Magnum Bud, they can't summon it, and then they have the Valor. So then they did pitch the Valor, and then they summoned the Magnum Bud. So then I'm like, well, damn, there goes my OTK. Whoopsie. And hitting the Dark was pretty bad because I would have loved to use this Dark later on, but you know, they're gonna get the Magnum Search, and here I'm gonna go into Chaos Angel because I don't know, decks that run a lot of Bystials tend to struggle outing a Chaos Angel, especially if they don't run Branded Beast. And I'm gonna use Sarnir as well, and then I'm gonna banish the Magnum Bud. Sarnir will send Lubellion, and then they're going to have a second Baldric. So don't know why they waited so long to summon these 2 Bystials. I'm not really sure why, like, they let me get this far, but you know, joke's on me, I guess. My deck doesn't really do anything anyway, so yeah, they're gonna summon a second Bystial and banish my Lubellion, so we're just not resolving Lubellion this game. And here I enter battle phase, attack, and then I attack again. They have a third Bystial, so it's just there's Bystial on Bystial on Bystial. There's like 5 Bystials played between the 2 of us in like the first 2 turns, and here I try to crash, and then I realize, oh wait, this can't get destroyed by battle because of Chaos Angel. Whoopsie. Then we go main phase 2, so now I go into SP, and I SP banish the Sarnir, because I don't know what the hell I'm playing against still. I'm just seeing Bystials. This could be Fiendsmith, this could be Dragon Link, and it's Dragon Link. So it's not the mirror match, because their 60 cards are playing the real Dragon Link deck, and I'm just playing Bystial Control. Yeah, they're gonna normal summon Black Metal. Now here's the thing, Dragon Link kind of struggles versus SP, because SP removes the Link monster, so that it kind of removes their Link arrows. But also, it also, like, if they go Black Metal, I banish the Striker Dragon to try and cut them off of like a Red Ice Darkness Metal, and then they search Red Ice Darkness Metal anyway, and I'm like, wait a second, that's sus. And then they special summon Sarnir. So they had 4 Bystials over 2 turns. That's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. So unfortunately, that lets them go Red Ice Darkness Metal again. They still don't really have a clean out the Chaos Angel, because I know what a Dragon Link extra deck looks like, and generally they don't run Goddess, so they still don't really have an out to this card yet. And then they also run the Fullmetal, but so they add the Fullmetal, and then they add Dragon Ravine. Unfortunately for them, I do have an Ashe, so the Ashe Dragon Ravine, and it's really bad for them because now they also, not only did I cut them off with Rocket Tracer access, they also don't have a level 5 or higher Dragon Monster, so the Max Metalmorph, the Fullmetal Dragon, doesn't have anything to tribute to summon itself, so yeah, pass it back to me, and I draw a Branded Beast, which is, again, this card, you could probably cut this. It's not really needed. Every single time I've drawn this card, it's been dead or like not very helpful at all. But yeah, we have SP and Chaos Angel, and the SP can't be destroyed by battle, which means it's still really difficult for our opponent to do anything, because SP on a Link monster is a very good disruption against Dragon Link, because they depend on Link arrows a lot. And they're going to special summon Tracer. They don't even normal summon the Tracer to try and attack over the SP because they know it can't be destroyed by battle. And now they're going to go into Recharger. Still can't really do anything to pressure me right now. They go into Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon tried to pop Striker Dragon to add the Recharge. And here we can chain SP to target the Striker Dragon. And then, yeah, that will make the Striker Dragon effect resolve without effect. And then they just scoop. Because I now know for damn sure they do not have an out this Chaos Angel. So, yeah, that was just fumbling the bag. But like, at the same time, I think I saw more Bystials summon in that game than I did like literally all last season, funnily enough. Okay, so here we're going first, and this hand is honestly it's pretty nice. Normally, like 3 Bystials, it is a bit much, but fortunately we do draw a Chaos Space, so I am going to Chaos Space. Discard Sarnier, the best discard, add a Wyver Burster, and then Sarnier is going to send Lubellion. Then I'm going to special Wyver Burster go into Striker Dragon, Striker, or Wyver Burster, add Collapse Serpent, and then I'm going to Druid's Worm banish the Wyver Burster. And here they're going to use their own Druid's Worm to counter me by banishing my Lubellion, so I guess we're just not resolving Lubellion this turn. But I go Chaos Space, put back Lubellion, and I draw the regain that I was gonna place with Lubellion anyways. You know, sometimes you're just nice with it. So yeah, now I'm gonna go into SP to just get rid of the Druid's Worm, because I get a draw off the regain anyway, so yeah, goodbye Druid's Worm, draw into a draw, and then I'm gonna pass my turn. And this is like, again, these boards don't look that impressive, but SP with Regain versus a Light and Dark deck, it's a real interruption, because you can just, at any time SP, banish their Light or Dark monster, it gets put back with Regain forever, and I draw another card. Also have Droll, also have Baldrake, so it's fine. It's okay for playing through a Bystial, and then there are opponents on White Forest. So White Forest plays really poorly into Bystial Control. This is a very good matchup for this deck. And yeah, we're gonna summon back the Druid's Worm. They're gonna add Tails, and here I'm gonna just Droll the hell out of them. So like, White Forest struggles playing through Droll. Of course, they have the Call-By for the Droll, which is fine because now I can chain SP to target the Sylvie, and then that will take the Spellcaster body off the field. So their Tails of the White Forest still can't be used unless they have something else. And of course, we get the draw off Regain because the Droll got Call-By'd, and then we draw into a Veiler. Nice. They're gonna summon Diabellstar, which we drew the Veiler for the Diabellstar, you know, just because we're nice like that. I'm not gonna lie, we sacked our opponent pretty hard with the 2 Regain draws. We're like, we drew Chaos Space, we drew Regain off the Chaos Space, banishing our Lubellion, and then we drew a Veiler off the Regain for their Diabellstar on the very next summon. But yeah, they don't know that, so shh. And then if you're watching this, Sylvan, I'm really sorry for sacking you. Of course, now that makes their Tails of the White Forest live because Diabellstar is a spellcaster, and now they're gonna add LZ, and LZ their last card is a spell and trap, so they're gonna summon LZ and get the other LZ. And here I go Baldrake because honestly, this is probably a premature Baldrake because honestly, the only thing I'm worried about is them going to Closed Moon, which, like, admittedly, if they go into Closed Moon against the Baldrake, yeah, they're gonna lose, but they could just enter battle phase and attack over the Baldrake anyways. But their LZ doesn't do anything because I don't think they run a level 4 or level 9 Synchro. Just like, actually no, neither of these are tuners, so their LZ actually doesn't really do anything at all. So they can special the LZ, and then they give up because they realize whatever they're gonna make is just gonna get Baldrake anyway. So it's like whatever. And then I have all this follow up from the Regain for the next turn. But yeah. So here we're going second against a matchup that's not great. you'll see, because our opponent's playing Traptrix, and I draw the Veiler for the Myrmilio because, like, I mean, like, what the fuck else am I gonna Veiler at this point? And yeah, the reason this isn't good is because they don't run light and dark monsters. So my Bystials aren't actually good hand traps versus Traptrix, and we lost the coin flip, so that's already a bit not ideal. So they're gonna go into Sarah and set 3, and my turn they're gonna flip anti-spell. So jokes on them, I only got 1 spell in my hand, so nice anti-spell, I guess. Unfortunately, it's a pretty good one, but at the same time, I wouldn't have used it in this hand anyways. The only target I have is Lubellion anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna use Lubellion, and hope that God they don't have a Gravedigger Trap Hole. And thankfully they don't. So now I'm gonna Lubellion, banish my Veiler, and then actually Magnamut, and I'm gonna sack Magnamut for Lubellion. And here, like, I don't play around shit because I just activate Lubellion right now, and I get Gravediggers. I get Traptrix Trap-Hole Nightmare, which is crazy. It's crazy that they Traptrix Trap-Hole Nightmare the Lubellion and didn't just do it on the Magnamut summon. I guess to play around the second Bystial, I suppose, but I mean that wouldn't even have been good because then I would have to banish my own Magnamut to summon the second Bystial. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't see the Traptrix Trap-Hole Nightmare coming. Not gonna lie. Maybe should have played around it anyways, but like I was like, and so yeah, that's gonna force me to burn an Ash on the Traptrix Sarah, when normally I wouldn't have to burn the Ash, but I have 2 Ashes anyway, so like it's not really that big of a deal, I suppose. And then, fortunately, we just hard drew the Max Metamorph like a sack, and then them not Traptrix Trap-Holing my Magnamite gives me Druid's Worm, which means I get a tribute for Max Metamorph. And I'm gonna manage my Magnamut anyways, and then they're gonna max it, which is like, you know, I was gonna max Metamorph on their turn, but instead, I'm like, you know what, you can have it. I'm not gonna ask you. I'm just gonna do Metamorph on my turn. So it goes to my turn. They try to infer my Druid's Worm, and I max Metamorph my Druid's Worm. Not that this does anything. Like, I will have to Ash. I'm gonna Ash to Sarah anyways. I thought, you know, maybe if I get the full Metal Dragon out, I could potentially negate the Tractor Sarah and keep my Ash, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather just hold my Ash for their final set, or hold my Full Metal for their set, so I'm just gonna Ash to Sarah. And at this point, I do not believe they have an out to Full Metal. Now, this is also not a great matchup in the sense that Full Metal is also not an auto win against Traptrix, because Full Metal is not. You can still target Full Metal, and you can still destroy Full Metal with trap cards, unfortunately, which is the one type of card that the Traptrix tends to run a lot more than most other decks. So it's kind of annoying in that sense, but they're so low on resources, and they also have like literally just 2 cards left, one of them being a set card that I can just negate. Not to mention I have Black Metal in hand, and I have a Chaos Space. So yeah, they ended under their own anti-spell. So yeah, this is in a simplified game state, it's just Jover once it hits the field, and yeah, they know it. It was also low-key, there was also kind of game, because I had the Red Eyes Darkness Metal coming out, and then Red Eyes plus Full Metal plus a Bystial was also game, but yeah, it was game anyways. But yeah, thankfully I didn't draw too many Bystials versus Traptrix. I drew the hand traps that were good against Traptrix instead, which are Ash. So yeah, nothing much more to say about this deck list in particular. I am thinking of possibly a different way to play Bystial Control that involves a lot more cards, because you know me, I can't just play a dragon deck that has close to 40 cards in it. It just doesn't feel right to me. I gotta include other random bullshit to feel comfortable. But yeah, I might I might be testing a bit more unhinged in the future, depending on how the next pack and all the next ban list goes. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a nice day.